Welcome to JGI JCE Connect revision classes on modern interface design. In this video, we shall be discussing module 2, that is Windows and Controls, wherein we'll be discussing topics such as window presentation styles and different types of windows. So as we all are already aware that window is an area on a screen, usually rectangular in shape, which has its own borders and it contains a particular view of some area of screen's display, right? Or it may sometimes contain the portion of person's dialogue with the computer, right? And then a window has several characteristics, right? So we have already been noticing that windows have names, titles which allow them to be identical, and then every window is of varying size, that is they have their own height and width, and sometimes the windows state the windows may be accessible, active or inaccessible, and visibility also. So it is a window might be partially or fully hidden behind another window, or the information within the window may extend beyond the window's display area, right? So a location may be relative to the display boundary, right? And sometimes we may have different presentations of windows like tiled windows, overlapping windows, or cascading windows, and it highlights, and sometimes windows are used to highlight a part of information that is also selected, right? So we call all these things to be the window characteristics. Okay, so why do we need windows, right? Or why do we think that the windows are useful to us? One is because presentation, it is useful in presenting different levels of information, and it can also be used when you want to have a presentation of multiple kinds of information, and it also tends to be useful when there is a need to showcase or perform a sequential presentation of levels or kinds of information. And sometimes independent sources of information may have to be accessed at the same time, right? So access to different sources of information can also be easily be given with the help of windows. And sometimes there could be text from several documents that have to be reviewed and combined into one. So pertinent information can be selected from one window and copied into another. So you may also need windows when you are trying to combine multiple sources of information. And similarly, you need windows when performing more than one task at a time, right? And then it can also be used to provide reminder through messages or pop-up menus. And it can also be used for monitoring, that is data in one window can be modified and its effect on the data in another window can also be studied, right? And you can also make use of windows for multiple representations of same tasks. That is, for example, a report can be given as a table in one window, and you can have another window which shows it as a chart, right? So there are several constraints involved in Windows system design. There are hardware limitations, that is, Windows system design is affected by the hardware limitations, the human limitations, right? So, what do we mean by hardware limitations? How are window designs affected by it? Right? Either seeing all the contents of one window is preferable to seeing small parts of many windows, or operational and visual complexity of multiple windows is not wanted sometimes, right? So poor screen resolutions and graphics capabilities may also affect the use of windows by not permitting sharp and realistic drawings and shapes as well as visual presentations, right? So similarly, human limitations. So window management operations are usually placed on the top of other system operations, and window management can become an end in itself. That is, this can severely distract from the task at the hand, right? So therefore, sometimes window problems may include the necessity for window borders, right? So these window borders usually consume a lot of valuable screen spaces, and the small windows providing access to large amounts of information can also lead to some excessive unwanted scrolling, which may also distract the user from using the window, right? So then, now let us look into what are the various ways in which we can present the windows to the user, right? So we call them as window presentation styles. So we refer to it as its spatial relationship to another windows, right? So there are basically two styles commonly called as tiled and overlapping windows. We first look into what do we mean by tiled windows, right? So, tiled windows derive their name from common floor or wall of tile. So, tiled windows appear in one plane on a screen and expand or contrast to fill up the display surface as needed. So, you can see in the figure, this figure represents a tiled window. So, most of the systems provide a two-dimensional tiled windows adjustable in both height as well as width. So, what are the advantages of such tiled windows, right? And the system usually allocates and positions windows for the users, right? And by eliminating the necessity to make the positioning decision, right? So the user may not have to worry about where exactly the window is positioned on the screen. So open windows are always visible, eliminating the possibilities of them being lost or forgotten. So here we do not have windows hiding behind one another. So every window here is always completely visible. So and by doing this, we are trying to eliminate the possibility of information being hidden from the end user, right? And they are perceived as fewer complexes than overlapping windows because there are fewer management operations, or they seem very less magical, right? So that is, they are easier for novice as well as novice and inexperienced people, and they are very easy to learn and use, and they yield a better user performance for tasks where data requires very little window manipulations to complete a task. And then, as we already know, that along with every advantage there is a delimit also, or disadvantages too. So here, in case of tiled windows, only a limited number of windows can be displayed in the screen area that is available to us, right? So as windows are opened or closed, then the existing windows change in size. So this sometimes tends to be very annoying. So as the windows change in size or position, the movement can be disconcerting, right? So as the number of displayed windows increase, each window may get going to be tinier each time, right? So the changes in the size and the locations made by the system are difficult to predict, and the configuration of windows provided by the system may not meet the user's need, right? So they are also perceived as very crowded and more visually complex because window borders are flushed against one another, and they fill up the whole screen area, crowding and leading to a huge crowd, and viewers' attention may be drawn to the borders and not to the data in it. And they also permit very less user control because the system actively tries to manage the windows here, right? So the next type of window presentation that we have is the overlapping windows. So, overlapping windows may be placed on the top of one another just like papers on the desk. They possess a three-dimensional quality, appearing to lie on different planes. So, overlapping windows advantages are like visually their look is three-dimensional, resembling the desktop that is familiar to the user, and it allows greater control to the user to organize the windows to meet his or her needs. And windows can maintain larger sizes, consistent sizes, and in consistent positions. So, screen space conversation is not a problem here because windows can be placed on the top of one another. So there is less pressure to close or delete the windows as long as it is not needed. So as this is the case, there exists very less visual crowding and complexity. So larger borders can be maintained around the window information, and the windows are more clearly set off against its background. So it can also be expanded to fill the entire display space, right? So it yields a better performance for tasks wherein the data requires much of the window manipulations to be performed to complete the task. So as we have seen the advantages, there also exist some disadvantages of overlapping windows. So they are operationally much more complex when you compare them against the tiled windows, and more control functions require greater user attention and manipulation, and the information in windows can be blocked behind other windows, right? Or sometimes the windows themselves can be lost behind other windows, and the user may assume it to be not to be existing at all, right? So that is, the overlapping windows represent a 3D space which is not always realized by the user. So control freedom increases the possibility for greater visual complexity and crowding. So too many windows or improper offsetting can be visually overwhelming here, right? So we have seen the overlapping window. Still exists one more window presentation style, usually known as cascading window. So, what you see in the figure here is a cascading window example. So, mm, cascading window is a special type of overlapping window and has windows automatically arranged in regular progression. So each window is slightly offset from the other, if you can observe in the figure there, right? So the advantages of the cascading windows are no window is ever completely hidden behind the other. So bringing in any window in front or moving it around becomes very easier, and it provides simplicity in visual presentation, and it is very clean and crystal clear. That is, there is no visual clutter here, right? So when do you pick, or how do you pick a particular presentation style, or when to use a tiled window and when to use an overlapping window, right? So we usually make use of tiled windows when we are dealing with single task activities, or when the data that needs to be seen when the data is to be seen simultaneously, and when the tasks require very little window manipulation, and wherein you're trying to design an interface For a novice or an inexperienced window, then try picking up a presentation style known as tiled windows, right? But whereas if there exists a situation wherein you require to switch between the tasks, or the tasks require a greater amount of window manipulation, and it has unpredictable display contents, and basically the interface is designed for an expert or an experienced user. In that case, you can make use of overlapping windows, right? So now we move on to the next type of windows, that is the next topic that we are going to discuss, that is the primary windows, right? So primary windows should be used when you want to represent an independent function or an application, and it is used to present constantly used window components and controls such as menu bar items, and it is menu bar items that are used frequently and used by most or all primary as well as the secondary windows. So controls used by dependent windows can also be displayed here. So it can also be used for presenting information that is continuously updated, for example date and time. So you can use primary windows for providing context for dependent windows to be created. And never make use of, or do not divide an independent function into two or more primary windows, and do not present unrelated functions in one primary windows. Always try to keep them separate. So it has also been referred to as application window or the main window. So primary windows can also be known as application windows or the main windows, and in addition it's also be referred as the parent window if one or more child windows exist, right? And the second type of window here is the secondary windows. So when to use secondary windows? So for example, for performing subordinate, supplemental or ancillary actions that are like extended or more complex in natures or related to objects in the primary windows, then you can make use of secondary windows. And you can also use secondary windows for presenting frequently or occasionally used window components. But always keep in mind that primary secondary windows should typically not appear as an entry on the taskbar. So a secondary window should not be larger than a dialog should not be larger than a 263 dialog units into 263 dialog units. So a dependent secondary window is one common type, and it can only be displayed from a command on interface of its primary window. It is typically associated with a single data object and appears on the top of the active window when it is requested, and it is movable as well as scrollable. So an independent secondary window can be opened independently of a primary window. For example, a property sheet can be displayed when the user clicks the properties command on the menu of a desktop icon, right? So the next types of windows that we have are the palette windows and the pop-up windows, right? So palette windows are basically used to present a set of controls, like you can have seen all these things into the paint application there, wherein the designs are resizable and alternatively the designs are fixed in size, right? But whereas in case of pop-up windows, So we use pop-up windows to display additional information when an abbreviated form of information is there in the main presentation, and textual labels, and they are also used to present the textual labels of the graphics controls, and context, they also provide a context sensitive help information.